March 2018. Southern Illinois. 2,400 acres of corn and soybeans split between a father and son who've been farming together for 19 years. The father is 63, the son is 37. They've run the same equipment philosophy since 1999. Buy used, maintain hard, trade every 8 years. No brand loyalty. Whatever makes financial sense. They've owned red iron, green iron, silver. The paint color never mattered, until now. The father is retiring, full exit. December 31st, 2018. The son is taking over the entire operation, land, debt, equipment decisions, everything. For the first time in his life, he gets to choose his own fleet, and he's already made the call. 5 Massey Ferguson tractors, brand new, factory order, 3 7700 series for primary field work, 2 5700 series for utility and loader duty. Total package, $847,000 before trade-ins. Delivery scheduled for November 2018. The dealer shook his hand, the financing cleared. The son told his wife. The father said it was a solid choice. Done deal. Except the John Deere dealer in the next county just heard about it, and he's driving to their farm right now. Unannounced. Uninvited. The father sees the green dealership truck pull into the driveway at 7:14 a.m. on a Wednesday. He's standing in the shop, coffee in hand, wondering why the hell Charlie Morrison is here this early without calling first. Charlie steps out, clean boots, pressed shirt, folder under his arm. Got a minute? The father nods. The son is still in the house. Charlie doesn't waste time. Heard your boy ordered 5 Massey Fergusons. The father doesn't flinch. He did. Before he talked to me, didn't know he needed to. Charlie sets the folder on the workbench, opens it. Inside, a full fleet proposal. 5 John Deere tractors, comparable models, financing terms, trade-in appraisals on their current equipment, and a handwritten note at the bottom. Your son's making a $200,000 mistake. Let me show you why. The father stares at the note, doesn't pick it up. He already signed with Massey Ferguson. Contract got a cancellation window? Probably. Then he's got time to fix this. The father closes the folder, slides it back. My son's 37 years old. He made his call. I'm not second-guessing him. Charlie doesn't move, just looks at him, then says the one thing that changes everything. What if I can prove he's wrong? The son comes out of the house 20 minutes later, sees the John Deere truck still in the driveway, his father standing next to Charlie Morrison, both of them waiting. He walks over, guarded. He knows what this is. Charlie, heard you went with Massey Ferguson. I did. Big commitment. It is. Charlie doesn't push, just hands him the folder. I put together a comparison. Deere versus Massey. Same HP classes, same financing terms, same work profile. I think you'll find the numbers tell a different story than what Massey sold you. The son opens it, scans the first page. Fleet cost, resale projections, maintenance intervals, fuel efficiency estimates, dealer support response times. He closes it. I appreciate the effort, Charlie, but I already committed. You signed a factory order. You didn't take delivery. You've got 60 days to walk. I'm not walking. Charlie leans against the truck. Calm. Not desperate. Just confident. Tell you what, I'll make this easy. You give me 2 hours. Let me walk through these numbers with you and your dad. If I can't show you a clear financial advantage with Deere, I'll leave. Won't contact you again. But if I can show you a better path, you owe it to yourself to consider it. The son looks at his father. The father says nothing, just watches. The son looks back at Charlie. 2 hours? That's it. The son hesitates, then nods. Fine, 2 hours. They walk into the house, spread the papers on the kitchen table, and for the next 117 minutes, Charlie Morrison rebuilds the entire equipment decision from the ground up. Charlie starts with resale value. Massey Ferguson holds value in certain markets, but in this region, John Deere dominates secondary sales. 5-year depreciation on a 7700 series Massey, you're looking at 48% loss. Same year Deere 7R, 38% loss. Over 5 tractors, that's $84,000 in equity you're giving up. The son counters. I'm not buying these to flip them in 5 years. I'm running them for 10. Even better for Deere. At 10 years, Massey Ferguson falls to 62% depreciation. Deere holds at 51%. Now you're talking $140,000 in fleet value when you eventually trade. The father listens, says nothing. The son keeps his face neutral. Charlie moves to parts availability. Massey Ferguson's North American parts network is solid, but it's not deep. You need a hydraulic pump on a Sunday during planting season? I've got it in stock. Massey dealer? He's ordering it. You're waiting 3 days minimum. That's 72 hours of downtime in May when every hour costs you yield. The son pushes back. Massey's reliability is competitive. I'm not planning on breaking down. No one plans on it. But you've been farming long enough to know it happens. Question is, when it does, who gets you back in the field faster? Charlie flips to page 4. Dealer support map. Shows every John Deere service location within 90 miles. Then shows Massey Ferguson, 3 fewer locations, longer average response times. The son's face tightens. He's listening now. Charlie goes to financing. Massey offered you 3.9% over 7 years. I can do 3.4% over 7 years through Deere Financial. Doesn't sound like much. But on $847,000, that's $2,700 in interest savings over the life of the loan. He slides over another page. Payment comparison. Month by month, line by line. The son stares at it, does the math in his head. Charlie's right. Then Charlie hits him with the real leverage. And here's the part Massey didn't tell you. Their residual guarantee program only applies if you trade back to Massey Ferguson in 5 years. You want to switch brands? You're on your own. Deere's fleet loyalty program works with any brand trade-in. You've got exit flexibility. The son sits back. The father still hasn't said a word. Charlie leans forward. Look, Massey Ferguson builds a good tractor. I'm not here to trash them. But you're not just buying 5 machines. You're building a 20-year fleet strategy. And in this region, with your acreage, with your operations risk profile, Deere gives you better long-term value, better parts access, better resale, and lower financing costs. He taps the folder. I'm not asking you to trust me. I'm asking you to trust the numbers. The son looks at his father. The father finally speaks. What do you think? The son doesn't answer right away. He picks up the folder, flips through it again. Slower this time, reading every line. Finally, he looks at Charlie. I need to think about it. Charlie nods, stands up. Fair enough, you've got my number. Offer's good for 30 days. He walks out. The truck pulls away. The father and son sit at the table, silent. Then the son says it. He's right about the resale. The father nods. He is. And the parts network. Yep. The son closes the folder, rubs his face. God damn it. That night, the son tells his wife. She's in the kitchen. He's standing in the doorway. Charlie Morrison came by today. She looks up. The Deere dealer? Yeah, what do you want? To talk me out of the Massey Fergusons. She sets down the dish towel, turns to face him. And? He made a good case. She stares at him. You already ordered the Masseys. I know. You told me it was done. I thought it was. So what changed? Charlie showed me the numbers, resale value, parts availability, financing terms. He's offering better terms across the board. She crosses her arms. How much better? $14,000 in financing, maybe $140,000 in resale over 10 years. Her face shifts. That's real money. I know. So what are you going to do? He doesn't answer right away, just looks out the window at the shop, the equipment, the fields. I don't know. She walks over, stands next to him. What does your dad think? He didn't say much, just asked what I thought. That's not helpful. No, it's not. She's quiet for a moment, then she says it. You've been talking about those Massey Fergusons for 6 months. You researched them. You test drove them. You made the call. Now some dealer shows up with a folder and you're second-guessing everything? He turns to look at her. What if he's right? What if he's just a better salesman? That stops him. She keeps going. Charlie Morrison has been selling Deere for 20 years. He knows how to build a case. He knows how to find the pressure points. That doesn't mean Massey Ferguson is the wrong call. It just means he's good at his job. The son doesn't respond. She softens. Look, I trust you. You've been farming your whole life. You know equipment. If you picked Massey Ferguson, there was a reason. Don't let one sales pitch undo 6 months of research. He nods, but the doubt is already there, and it's not going away. 4 days later, Charlie Morrison calls. The son is in the tractor, spring tillage. He sees the name on the caller ID, almost doesn't answer, but he does. Charlie. Hey, just checking in. You had a chance to think things over? I have. And? The son kills the engine, steps out of the cab, walks to the edge of the field where he can hear better. I'm still thinking. Charlie's quiet for a second. Then he says it. I talked to my regional manager, got approval to sweeten the deal. The son's stomach tightens. How? They drop the rate to 3.1%, add a $15,000 trade-in bonus on your current equipment, and I'll throw in a 5-year full coverage service plan. No cost. The son does the math in his head. That's another $22,000 in value. He closes his eyes. Charlie, I know you ordered the Masseys. I know you made a commitment, but this is your farm, your future, your family. You don't owe Massey Ferguson anything except what makes sense for your operation. The son stands there, wind blowing across the field, dirt on his boots. Charlie keeps going. I'll hold the offer until end of business Friday. After that, I can't guarantee the terms, but if you want to move forward, I'll have the paperwork ready by Monday. The son exhales. Let me talk to my dad. Fair enough. The call ends. The son stands in the field for another 10 minutes, just staring at the ground. Then he climbs back in the tractor, starts the engine, and keeps working. But his mind is somewhere else. That night, the son finds his father in the shop. The old man is rebuilding a hydraulic cylinder, grease on his hands, radio playing low. The son walks in, sits on the toolbox. Charlie called. The father doesn't look up, figured he would. He's offering better terms, 3.1% financing, $15,000 trade-in bonus, 5-year service plan included. The father keeps working. That's a good deal, I know. The father sets down the wrench, wipes his hands, looks at his son. So what's stopping you? The son hesitates. I already committed to Massey Ferguson. Commitments can be undone. I shook the dealer's hand. You didn't take delivery. You didn't sign a no-cancel clause. You're still in the window. The son looks away. It feels wrong. The father sits down on the bench, thinks for a moment. You know what I regret most in 40 years of farming? The son shakes his head. The decisions I made because I was too proud to change my mind. He looks at his son. I bought a Case IH Magnum in 2003 because I'd already told everyone I was buying it. Dealer had delivered brochures. I'd showed it off at the co-op. Then another dealer came in with a better offer on a New Holland. I said no, stuck with Case. And for the next 8 years, I paid more in maintenance, got worse fuel economy, and lost $30,000 in resale compared to what I could have had. He stands up. Pride is expensive, and it doesn't plant corn. The son sits with that. The father keeps going. You made a call on Massey Ferguson. It was a good call. But now you've got new information, better terms, better long-term value. The question isn't whether it feels wrong to change your mind. The question is whether you can afford not to. He walks over, puts a hand on his son's shoulder. This is your farm now, not mine. Whatever you decide, I'll support it. But don't let a handshake cost you $150,000. The son nods. The father goes back to the cylinder, and the son walks out into the night, knowing exactly what he has to do. Friday morning. The son calls the Massey Ferguson dealer. The dealer answers on the second ring. Hey, how's it going? We're about 6 weeks out from delivery. Getting excited? The son's throat tightens. Actually, I need to talk to you about that. The dealer's tone shifts. Okay. The son exhales. I'm going to cancel the order. Silence. Then the dealer's voice comes back. Flat. You're canceling. Yes, all 5 tractors. Yes. Can I ask why? The son could lie, could soften it, but he doesn't. John Deere dealer offered better terms, better financing, better trade-in value. I can't justify walking away from that. Another silence, longer this time. Then the dealer speaks, and his voice is cold. You've been working on this order for 4 months. We spec'd everything custom. I put you at the front of the production line, held financing, coordinated delivery. I know, and I appreciate that. Do you? The son stops. The dealer keeps going. Because from where I'm sitting, it looks like you used me to build leverage. Got my numbers, took them to Deere, and let Charlie Morrison undercut me. That's not what happened. Then what happened? The son grits his teeth. He showed up unannounced, made a case, and the numbers were better. Of course they were better. He knows what I offered. He just had to beat it by $1, and you'd fold. The son's jaw tightens. This is business. No, this is you getting played, and you're too proud to see it. The dealer's voice drops. You're making a mistake, not because Deere's a bad tractor, but because you're letting a salesman make your decision for you. 6 months from now, when you're sitting on a service call waiting for a part, or you're trying to trade out and the resale isn't what Charlie promised, you're going to remember this conversation. The son's face burns. I appreciate your time. I'll pay the cancellation fee. Damn right you will. The line goes dead. The son stands there, phone in hand, stomach in knots, but the decision is made. He calls Charlie Morrison. I'm in. November 2018. The John Deere tractors arrive. 3 7R series, 2 5R series. Green and yellow paint gleaming in the winter sun. Charlie Morrison is there personally. Walks the son through every machine, shows him the controls, the maintenance schedule, the warranty coverage. The son's father stands off to the side, arms crossed, watching. Charlie shakes the son's hand. You made the right call. The son nods, but there's no joy in it, just relief that the decision is over. The tractors get parked in the shed. The old equipment gets loaded on a trailer. Charlie's crew handles the trade-ins. By 4 p.m., it's done. The son walks into the house. His wife is at the table. How'd it go? Fine. You okay? Yeah, but he's not, and she knows it. That night, he lies in bed staring at the ceiling, thinking about the Massey Ferguson dealer's voice, the anger, the accusation. You're letting a salesman make your decision for you. He pushes it away, tells himself it was just sour grapes, just a dealer who lost a sale. But the words stick. Spring 2019, the John Deere tractors go to work, and they perform exactly as promised. Fuel economy is strong, power delivery is smooth. The CVT transmission handles planning speeds without complaint. Parts availability is flawless. When a hydraulic line blows on the 7R during May planning, Charlie's service truck is there in 90 minutes with a replacement. The son runs the numbers in July. Cost per acre is exactly where it should be. The financing terms are saving him $1,200 a month compared to the Massey Ferguson deal. By August, he's convinced he made the right call. His wife asks him one night, "Still feel good about the Deeres?" "Yeah, they're solid. No regrets?" "None." She smiles. "Good." But 3 weeks later, something happens that changes everything. Late August, County Farm Show. Equipment dealers set up displays. Farmers walk the rows. The son is there with his father. They're looking at a new planter when he sees it. Massey Ferguson 7700 series. Same model he almost bought. Sitting on the Massey Ferguson dealer's lot, and standing next to it is a farmer the son knows. Bill Hendricks. Runs 1,800 acres 2 counties over. Bill sees him, waves him over. "Hey, come check this out." The son walks over, his father follows. Bill pats the tractor. "Just took delivery last month. Been running it hard. Thought you might want to see it. Heard you were looking at these back in the spring." The son's stomach tightens. "I was. Ended up going with Deere." Bill nods. "Nothing wrong with that. But man, this thing has been a beast. Fuel economy is insane. I'm averaging 6% better than my old Case IH Magnum, and the ride quality, best cab I've ever sat in." He climbs up, starts the engine. The sound is different, quieter, smoother. Bill looks down. "Want to take her for a spin?" The son hesitates. His father says it. "Go ahead." The son climbs up, sits in the seat, puts his hands on the wheel, and for the next 15 minutes, he drives the tractor he almost bought. The power is responsive, the cab is tight, the controls are intuitive. Everything Bill said is true. When he climbs down, Bill is grinning. "Told you." The son forces a smile. "Yeah, it's nice." But inside, something cracks. He walks away with his father, doesn't say anything. His father finally speaks. "Good machine." The son nods. "It is." They walk in silence for another minute. Then the son says it. "Do you think I made a mistake?" The father stops, looks at him. "You made a decision, based on the best information you had. That's all anyone can do." "That's not an answer." The father's face hardens. "No, it's not." They keep walking, but the doubt is back, and it's louder than before. February 2020, dead of winter. The son is running a 7R on snow removal duty, clearing lanes for spring equipment access. The tractor stalls, won't restart. He calls Charlie Morrison's service line, gets voicemail, leaves a message. 2 hours later, no callback. He calls again. This time he gets the service manager. "Charlie's out on another call. We'll get someone to you by end of day." "End of day? I need this fixed now. We're backed up. Ice storm yesterday. 6 emergency calls ahead of you." The son's jaw tightens. "I was told I'd have priority service." "You do. That's why you're not waiting until tomorrow." The call ends. The son sits in the cold tractor, staring at the dashboard. 6 hours later, the service truck shows up. The tech diagnoses it in 20 minutes. Fuel filter clogged, 15-minute fix. The tech is apologetic. Sorry for the wait, crazy day. The son nods, pays the service fee, watches the truck leave. Then he sits there, in the cab, engine running, and he thinks about what the Massey Ferguson dealer said. 6 months from now, when you're sitting on a service call waiting for a part, you're going to remember this conversation. It's been 14 months. But the point still stands. Spring 2020. COVID hits, equipment dealers scramble, parts supply chains stutter, the John Deere tractors keep running. But when a PTO shaft breaks on the 7R in late April, the part takes 6 days to arrive, 6 days during planting season. The son has to rent a backup tractor from a neighbor just to stay on schedule. Costs him $3,200. When the part finally arrives, Charlie apologizes. Supply chain's a mess right now. Everyone's dealing with it. The son doesn't argue, just pays the bill. But that night he's in the shop, doing the math, the rental costs, the lost time, the stress. He opens his laptop, pulls up the original Massey Ferguson proposal, the one he canceled. He reads through it, line by line. The parts network wasn't as deep, but the dealer was local, 20 minutes away, not 45. The resale value was lower, but the purchase price was also $31,000 less. The financing rate was higher, but the flexibility was better. He closes the laptop, sits in the dark shop, and wonders if Charlie Morrison sold him a dream or a strategy. July 2020, the son and his father are combining wheat, taking a break under a tree. The son finally says it. I think I made a mistake. The father doesn't look at him. With the Deeres? Yeah, why? The son takes a breath. Because I let someone else make my decision. I researched Massey Ferguson for 6 months. I knew what I wanted. Then Charlie showed up with a folder and I folded. The father is quiet. The son keeps going. The Deeres are fine. They work. But they're not what I wanted. And every time something goes wrong, every delayed part, every long service wait, I think about the Masseys. I think about what I gave up. The father finally speaks. I told you to take Charlie's deal. I know. So this is on me. The son shakes his head. No, it's on me. You gave me advice. I made the call. The father looks at him. You want to know the truth? The son nods. The father exhales. I don't know if you made a mistake or not. Charlie's numbers were better on paper, but numbers don't account for gut feel, or dealer relationships, or the confidence that comes from running equipment you actually wanted. He stands up. Massey Ferguson might have been the right call, Deere might have been the right call, but the real mistake, second-guessing yourself so hard that you never trust your own judgment again. He walks back to the combine. The son sits there, absorbing it, then he gets up and keeps working. Summer 2023. The son is sitting at the kitchen table. His father passed away 6 months ago. Heart attack, quiet, quick. The farm is fully his now. No one left to ask. No one left to blame. He's running spreadsheets, planning the next equipment trade cycle. The John Deere tractors are 5 years old, holding value exactly as Charlie promised. But the itch is still there. He opens a browser, types in Massey Ferguson 8S series. The new models load, bigger, stronger. More tech. He stares at the screen, then he picks up the phone, calls the Massey Ferguson dealer, the same one he canceled on in 2018. The dealer answers, "This is a surprise." The son doesn't small talk. "I want to talk about the 8S 405. The dealer pauses. "You serious?" "I am." "What about your Deeres?" "I'll trade them." The dealer is quiet for a long moment. Then he says it. "Why now?" The son thinks about it, about his father, about Charlie Morrison. About 5 years of wondering. "Because I'm done letting other people make my decisions." The dealer's voice softens. "Fair enough. When do you want to come in?" "Tomorrow. I'll have the numbers ready." The call ends. The son sits there, staring at the phone. His wife walks in. "Who was that?" "Massey Ferguson dealer." She stops. "You're not." "I am." She sits down across from him. "Are you sure?" He looks at her, and for the first time in 5 years, his voice is certain. "Yeah, I am." 2 months later, 3 Massey Ferguson 8S tractors arrive, delivered to the farm, red and silver, ready to work. The son stands in the driveway, watching them unload. No father to ask, no dealer to second guess, no voices but his own. He climbs into the first tractor, starts the engine, feels the power, and he knows. This is what he should have done 5 years ago, but he also knows something else. The John Deere tractors weren't a mistake, they were a lesson. Charlie Morrison taught him that numbers matter. His father taught him that pride has a cost. The Massey Ferguson dealer taught him that trust isn't rebuilt overnight. And now, finally, he's teaching himself that confidence comes from making decisions you can live with, not decisions you can defend. He puts the tractor in gear, drives it into the shop, and gets to work.